We'll start off with your new signing, Dennis, if you don't mind. Will Matthews, just tell us a bit more about him than we've seen on the press release, and how you came to source him, if that's the right word.
Source him. I was looking at Will last year, but he got injured. Start of the season, he was set to have a big year with St George. Like I said, he hurt himself in a pre-season game, and it came about through Gaz Widdop really, with the England set up and talking about back rowers and what we needed and where we were, and it was a really good conversation with him. Did a bit more digging, spoke to a couple of people in Australia that I knew, and everything came back real positive about the kind of bloke he was, the kind of player he was. And at that time he wasn't really keen to come over because he had a great off-season and he was ready to probably be one of the starters in the NRL for St George, and he got injured. He spent this year in and out the side and then playing the latter end in the reserve grade. Well, he's a player that I think will really enhance the British game and help us as a club. Great qualities as a human being, good character, great leadership, and just somebody that was like had the character to come and join our club.
Some of your current lads know of him, Dennis, do they?
Yeah, Charlie Runciman played with him, Jack Buchanan had time with him. So the lads know who he is and where he's been in that sense, and he knows a couple of those. So it was one of those where it was one of those that had been in the back burner for a bit. Back burner, sorry, not back boiler. It's been on the back burner for a little bit, and the opportunity came. Another number of clubs were interested in him, and fortunately we were able to persuade him that this was the right place for him to be.
He won't be a familiar name, I don't think, to most British fans, Widnes fans. But you've had some success bringing fellas over who perhaps they didn't know before. Corey Thompson, Chris Houston. So hopefully you can do much the same.
Well, I think it's much the same in the English game across the board. Cooper Cronk doesn't come over to England, and Jonathan Thurston doesn't play in England. Those days are a long way behind us. Like I say, every now and again you can pull someone like Stewart towards the end of his career that wants to come over and do a job, or a Greg Bird, but ultimately you're not going to entice them in the late 20s, mid 20s to come over and play in England. At the moment it's just the Australian game's gone crazy with how much you can earn over there if you're a top player, and we can't match it.
Let's talk about the whole KR game. It must have been a frustrating watch, I imagine, to some degree, because on attack you couldn't seem to quite get the breakdown of the Hull KR defence that you wanted.
No, I think both teams had a good job at really just nullifying the other. We defended really, really well. Like, they never played the ball. Whole of the second half they didn't play the ball inside our 20. They had 2 opportunities inside our 20 in the first half. I say it's a great offload from Mossimo on the last play of the first half to force themselves over in the corner. But it was a game where we had opportunities right to the last play of the game. We had an opportunity but we were very tentative with the ball. We looked really apprehensive in all our actions. It just wasn't the side that we'd been over the last 3 or 4 weeks with the ball in hand. Defensively we were great. I think that just the pressure of the game. They weren't willing to let go. Like I said, that's probably the best they've defended all year, and they had 7,500 people screaming them on, and there was a lot at stake, and they were a big prize in front of them, and we just didn't have that little bit of composure or that cutting edge. I say 1 try would have probably led to 2, which might have led to a little bit more on the scoreline, because of the territory, the field position, the amount of ball we had dictated that we should have won that game by 20 points. But they're now in a Super League. They've done. Tim Sheens has achieved what he wanted to achieve, and you can't say that they don't deserve to be in the top flight. One, how their supporters reacted when they went down, how their owner reacted, how their sponsors reacted, and the support that they were given throughout this year from the local community, and to have an average gate of what they had throughout the championship. I think it was near 5,500-6,000 people in the championship, an average gate. It was pretty impressive, and the game's not strong enough to have a side like Hull KR not in the competition.
I got the impression in the second half that you were grinding them down, and that a try for Widnes was inevitable. But then, of course, the intercept, one of those things, isn't it?
That's the way the game went. Like I said, there was 2 or 3. They had 2 or 3 really good plays just to stop tries with we had a real good short kick behind the line and a good chase, and one of their players just had enough in a scramble, which they've not done all year. Again, it's been one of their vulnerable areas, a kick behind the line. This time somebody got their hand to it and got it dead, and a couple of good catches on the edges, and then the player just gets in between Matt Whitley and his pass and goes the full length. Like I say, they've got a lot of youth and some plenty of pace in that side, and we dominated them physically, but their enthusiasm, their willingness to stay in the fight got them the result in the end that they were after. It's disappointing for us, but we've just got to dust ourselves off, recognise that it's still in our hands. Yeah, we'd like it to be all on Saturday and cruise into the last week, but that's not going to be the case. We've got to make sure we put a really top performance in on Saturday at home, and then it's all leading to the fact that we're going to be in the last game against Catalan, so a pre-million pound game kind of thing.
You got a few knocks, didn't you? Disrupted your head knocks. I presume Danny Craven's all right because he came back on. Corey Thompson, what's the situation?
Well, we don't know with Corey. He's in a protocol now where he has to be symptom-free early part of the week. So we'll have a good idea in the next 2 days. It didn't seem that good for him after the game. He had a lot of concussion related symptoms, which the doctor was a bit wary of. And Danny was okay. The other problem was Chris Dean. Chris Dean pulled his hamstring in the game, managed to get through the game, and probably won't play now again for the rest of the year. So it's one of those kind of. I think last week I had all the mirror images of everything that's happened to us this year. We've had 3 or 4 weeks. We've picked the same tide. We've gone through some real good performances, and then leading into that one big game after the league game, we lose 3 players in that game, and then Aaron Heremai is due to come back and just not right as well. Too tight to his back, his hamstrings are tight leading into the game. Danny Craven doesn't train all week and just has enough in him to be able to play and pull his boots on. We lose Corey, then we lose Danny. It was that kind of mirror image of our year, and we still fought hard, we still stuck in the fight, and we just didn't have enough guile or quality to score the points that we needed. We had a determination effort to restrict them to no line breaks and hardly ever attacking our line.
I'm just trying to wrap my brain now for your backline options this week, Dennis. Obviously there's no Reece, no Chris Bridge now, no Chris Dean. What are your initial thoughts? We're 6 days away, 5 days away. What's your initial thoughts about who your backline choices are this week?
Steph Marsh is a quality centre as well as a decent winger, and so Steph will put in that. Ed Chamberlain's been training really well with us. Like I say, we're still hopeful that Corey's going to come through the mix. Tom Gilmore is chomping at the bit. Like I say, Tom wanted to be in the side the last couple of weeks, but it's just went for a little bit more experience or thought, and the tide that people that have been playing those positions and playing well. So Tom gives us an option there, which gives us an ability to probably tinker a little bit with our half-back pairing and through our nines, and using Lloyd in a different way, and maybe Danny Walker, who was outstanding, Jordan Johnson. Again, it's all on the coach's table at the moment. It's just coming up with that best combination that we think that one can have the ability to be able to play and score points, but also understanding the position and making the right decisions for the positions that they play.
Looking at London, Dennis, if I was them, I'd be thinking we're not completely out with this yet. If they get 2 wins, they can make this £1 million game. So they're coming here with something to play for.
Well, they always spoke about Andrew Henderson after the loss to Warrington. I think when you see it on TV and when he talks to the press about the fact that they still believe that they've got that ability to make that £1 million game. The 3 points at the moment, like I say, another 2 wins gives them 7 points, puts them in that position. I don't think that they're a million miles off it. Pardon the pun.
And looking at the table, they've won 1 game, drawn 1. The points difference is actually positive, so that tells you that they've been competitive in all the games so far, including against Super League sides, away at Catalan, home to London. So, and they're a full-time team. This is not a team without ability, is it?
No, and that's the situation leading into these games. Is that they haven't got anything to lose, and they've come out and they're playing and they're enjoying it. They've got plenty of pace. Like Elliot Keir, Super League experience and very, very quick. Dixon on the wing, similar. Samet can do anything out of know. The Bartow is playing one of the halves. They've got a front rower in Ione that's dangerous with the ball in hand, and they're playing in a fearless manner. And that gives them an opportunity to put you under pressure. What we have to do this week is recognise where we are, try and shake off that little bit of anxiety, and go out and recognise that there isn't one player in their team that would make our team, and be a little bit confident in the fact that we're at home. We know we've got the ability to win this game and win this game well, and go out and prove that.
Your performances leading into the whole KR game suggest that you're able to do that, but as you say, it's about that losing the fear factor, isn't it?
It's controlling the anxiety, which has always been the problem for a Super League side. When you look at the way Warrington and Catalan have gone this year, and ourselves and Lee, even like say, the totally different contrast to Lee in their push for qualifiers coming from the Championship and what it's like being in the qualifiers as a Super League side. Against those full-time sides that have been working for 9 months for this game, it's a totally different competition, and it leads to one group of players having the anxiety that they feel that they're going to lose everything, and another group of players feeling like they're going to gain something. And that's what people want. That's what seems to be the driver in sport, and we've got to be able to handle that this week. And like I say, you can't. Listening to the crowd, I say, still in a way, like controlling what happened on Saturday. But to be in a rugby league ground with that many people making that much noise, and to recognise how much it meant to them, it was good. And I can't get away from the fact when you look back how much it meant to that group of people. And they turned up, all year. I mean, like I say, their membership went up when they went down, which is quite a strange kind of sick mentality to have. They like that underdog mentality, but they stuck by their team, and it was nice to see them get and achieve what they'd worked so hard for. On the flip side of it, it was a little bit at our expense on that day, but we still control our own destiny. We know where we are. We know that we've got the ability to be able to get 2 wins and still be in a Super League side before that one win or die game.
And you're at home this week, so it's a chance for Widnes fans to do something similar for you. It's not quite in the sense that it's a do or die, a complete do or die, but it's not a million miles.
No, it's our positive points are an extra bonus. So when you look at what could happen towards the end of the season, that's where I like to say that. So we're in a pretty strong situation of getting through this, but on our points difference, and coming and getting London here, keeping our points and difference high, getting the fans behind us, coming and joining and pushing this team on to a great finish for the end of the year is what we do. And like I said, our support at Lee, and even the support against OKR as well, like it's a long way to go, and we've been fantastic. Our away support was fantastic. We just need them all here on Saturday, getting behind this team to drive them on.